Hi everyone, so let's analyze. What are some bases we can use to segment? So segmentation bases, these are the systems we can use to group or cut up our market into presumably more manageable pieces. So a key thing to remember, the bases you choose should be whatever you find useful for the decision at hand. So here's a sampling of major bases. We have geographic, which are more like country, region, state, city, area. We have demographics, things like age, income, gender, marital status, and psychographic, personality, motivation, attitudes, drives, learning, lifestyle. We have things like source, mobile users. Where are they coming from? Are they on the go? Are they looking through your app? Are they through a checkout line? That sort of thing. And behavioral and needs and value. So behavioral, what are they doing? How are they using? How did they find or buy? And needs and value, what values are sought, particular attributes that they want, all that good stuff. So it's pretty common to mix and match to get at the segment we want. After all, we're not trying to serve every teen in the world, are we? So let's start with geographic. What's our range or farthest reaches and most likely for our segment? Thanks to the internet, this can get pretty big. So geographic segmentation can highlight key characteristics or environmental forces like languages, weather, shop density or highway systems, shipping costs, laws, all sorts of things. For example, if you live in Southern California, your local Walmart likely doesn't have a lot of snowblowers. But if you're in the Midwest or Northeast, you likely have lots of options. Another, geography is handy to consider things like legal requirements, such as tariffs or whether something's legal to sell or if you need certain labeling. Geographic segmentation is also used to focus or put bounds on our marketing activities. So who were we more likely to actually serve? So you only have so many resources. So it helps to focus your marketing efforts to just say Southern California or LA if it's impractical to serve customers from beyond there. You can consider how most local donut shops or dry cleaners just serve regulars immediately living or working nearby. Then again, you may have a donut shop that cultivates a brand or special offering where it makes sense to market to people traveling into the city. So, in sum, the geographic bases, they can give us key dimensions, but we also often just use it for narrowing purposes. After all, when you're selling to men, you're not selling to every single man in the whole world, are you? Demographics. These are the characteristics of people like age, income, occupation, ethnicity, how many kids or pets you have, how in the household or years of education, and so on. These tend to be easy for people to provide and to track as data. We use these because they can relate to buyer behavior. So people with similar traits often share certain experiences or social conditions, and so therefore may share certain needs, wants, values, and desires. So let's say, for example, income can determine whether they can literally afford something, but also as a matter of what kind of social class they see themselves as. Things like sex or gender. Keep in mind, when you want gender, that's the sense of how a person identifies and behaves in terms of femininity, masculinity, or whatever mix suits them. This is one where marketers can get kind of lazy in terms of defining needs, so be careful. So for sports fan apparel, you can't just pink and shrink, where you make a smaller size shirt in pink and think that's all female fans want. The NFL instead began to provide ways female fans want to be part of the game, from merch to hiring decisions. Things like age, combined often with generational cohort, helps you estimate potential income, motivations, or needs. So you can think how hiking gear companies account for different segments, experience, and income at each age bracket. How about family size or family life cycle? These tend to correlate also with particular needs decision-making styles, and lifestyles. The book often uses the example of how household composition affects how they buy convenience food differently. What about things like occupation or educational level and akin social class? All can correlate with different types of experiences, needs, and motivations. You may, for example, need to alter the mix for how the group tends to do their research or who they turn to for advice. But let's think of this. What's a major trap to using demographics? Okay, hopefully you had time to think. Using them without knowing why. Segments are not to be used as replacements for other types of traits such as use, motivation, lifestyle, and others. If you took any two 16-year-old males living in an apartment with two parents, their needs would be similar in a way. But we'd want to address his goals, what he's interested in, so video games, soccer, volunteering. Where is he living? Apartments come in all types of regions, and so on. So in sum, demographic dimensions are a very important tool for segments and can be linked to specific types of buyer needs and behavior. However, as with any type of dimensions, they are to be used with a purpose. So, stop. Before we proceed, ask yourself this. How are you using your segment bases? You need to make sure you think about, well, what traits or behaviors do we infer from this base? And an important part of segmentation is that you need to make sure it's actually useful. The demographic variables are typically associated with certain traits, but you need to make sure you are super clear about it so your marketing team is working under the same assumptions. In this example, a firm may decide to segment their runners' earbuds, headphones, for men and women. But it may not be immediately clear if the firm adjusted the earbuds for something beyond size. So many customers will probably try to find something that matches their gender. Meanwhile, the sporting good retailer may display the earbuds in terms of sporting category, gender, season. So it may be a problem if you have a male runner with smaller ears trying to figure out what product is right for him and looking 8 different places. And remember to be creative with bases. Here's an example where the Dollar Shave Club played off the usual way firms market their products by gender. Their promotion is better able to catch attention and build awareness for their brand. In sum, demographics or any of the bases are to be used with great care. Make sure they're actually useful to your organization. And so in this video, it's just a quick one about how we're using demographics in new ways because we're better able to actually get to the behaviors we actually wanted in the first place. So next video will be on psychographics.